Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Talk Shows. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Live with Kelly and Mark is never dull with the longtime host, Kelly Ripa. This year, she mentioned retirement a lot, but she's still going strong on the ABC talk show. And she loves to surprise her audience and her husband, Mark Consuelos. This week, she managed to do that when she traded places with a fan. Live Kelly Ripa can make people feel uncomfortable. Sometimes the audience or even guests get spotlighted by the talk show host, and that makes people feel a bit uncomfortable. Recently, she put her guest Monica Mankin on the spot whilst trying on Halloween costumes. Referring to breast sizes, when she used the words negative "e," the host confronted her, assuming she talked about her chest size. In an episode of Live with Kelly and Mark this week, she managed to be more civil with one of the people who appeared on the ABC morning show. Kelly Ripa isn't always so generous with her time. In fact, she recently embarrassed a crew member when she and Mark Consuelos discussed the New York Marathon. Feisty and short-tempered, she often growls. However, it was a happy moment that went down in the latest episode. Live Kelly Ripa trades places with a fan. The Sun reported that when the ABC host traded places with a fan, it wasn't someone who came from the audience. Instead, they described her as Crystal, a fan, and a dancer. Apparently, the host prearranged that Crystal would swap places with her, so she called her out from behind the set. Then to Mark's surprise, he ended up hosting a segment with someone other than his wife. Meanwhile, Kelly took to the dance floor. Actually, she loves dancing and wishes that if she had been good enough, she might have become a ballet dancer. ABC fans saw that the Live with Kelly and Mark host gave a good dance performance. Meanwhile, Crystal managed to hold her own with Mark. The outlet said, Crystal read from Kelly's teleprompter like a natural. Done it before. Apparently, as the two women had done a similar stunt in the past, it was the host's idea to try it again. Certainly, the audience seemed to enjoy the swap around. All in all, it seemed like a good time without too many tensions arising. Do you think that Kelly Ripa seemed like a good sport by letting her fan enjoy the spotlight for a bit? What about her dancing in her fan's place? As she prearranged it, do you think that she had warned Mark Consuelos to expect the trading of places? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And come back here often for more updates about the host of Live with Kelly and Mark. 1 year after being hospitalized, Today host Roker is opening up about how he almost died. Realizing how close he came to death, he has made some major changes in his life, and he admits the experience gave him something to push for. Keep reading to see how Roker almost died and how it's changed his life. Roker struggles with his health. Last November, the Today Show host was hospitalized for a serious health issue. It was revealed that he had blood clots in his legs and lungs. After he was missing from the daily talk show for a few days, fans began to worry about Al's whereabouts. Eventually, he took to Instagram to share a health update with everyone. He wrote, "Last week I was admitted to the hospital with a blood clot in my leg, which sent some clots into my lungs. After some medical whack-a-mole, I am so fortunate to be getting terrific medical care and on the way to recovery." A year later, Roker is now opening up about his experience. "It's no secret that I had a severe medical issue, and to be completely honest, I almost died," Al told the host of the podcast Your Mama's Kitchen, Michelle Norris. "I didn't know it at the time." He told Michelle that his family actually kept the severity of his condition a secret because they wanted him to focus on recovering at the time. Roker went on to talk about how he missed Thanksgiving and then nearly missed Christmas with his family. The Today host was rushed back to the emergency room on Thanksgiving night, and it made him realize how much he'd be missing out on with his family if he didn't get better. Changing his perspective on life. Wanting to be there for his family was what really pulled him through the health crisis, according to Al. I felt, in a sense, badly because I ruined Thanksgiving for the family, and I was not going to let that happen for Christmas, he told Michelle Norris. The Mama's Kitchen host told Al he was being too hard on himself. I know, Al Roker conceded. But it was important to me and gave me something to push for. And I made Christmas dinner. The Today host also shared with Michelle that he had a procedure done in the hospital that required anesthesia. When coming out of the anesthesia, Al Roker's wife, Deborah Roberts, said that he started talking about a recipe he wanted to try for Christmas. And she said, "Okay, I think he's gonna make it," he said. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Talk Shows. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brian Cox found himself in an awkward moment on Wednesday after Kelly Ripa couldn't help but let her nosiness get the best of her. For anyone who's kept their eye on Brian Cox's impressive career, you'd know that he's never been one to hold back from what he wants to say. The 77-year-old Scottish actor certainly calls it like he sees it. And when you've won an Emmy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and a Screen Actors Guild Award during your career, you probably earned that right. Think about it. Who's gonna be the one brave enough to tell him to shut up? Brian Cox plays a Bond villain, sort of. Cox joined Ripa and Mark Consuelos on Live to talk about his new game show, 007, Road to a Million. The new game show features 9 pairs of everyday people who are sent on a global adventure. Although similar to The Amazing Race, what sets 007, Road to a Million apart is its supposed flair for the dramatic. The contestants are put through a series of Bond-inspired challenges for a shot at winning the hefty cash prize. Cox stars as the controller, the man who is controlling it all. According to Cox, he joined 007, Road to a Million, because he thought he'd have a chance to star in the new Bond movie. I thought it was the new James Bond movie. I thought, well, finally, I'll get to play a Bond villain, Cox said. So I went, yeah, I'll do that. That's fine, that's good. But then I realized they haven't got a James Bond. They don't have a script. Despite playing the villain in the show, Cox says that contestants never actually had a chance to interact with him. He told Ripa and Consuelos that the show was already complete by the time he filmed his part. Although Ripa sounded disappointed for the contestants, Cox offered up a quick rebuttal. "No, I think if they heard my voice, they'd be even more terrified," joked Cox. Kelly Ripa's nosiness leads to funny moment. But before Cox had a chance to speak about his experience on 007, Road to a Million, the conversation started with his personal life. Cox has been married 3 times in his life. His first marriage to Lillian Monroe Kerr lasted barely a year. His second marriage had a little more staying power. Cox and Caroline Burt were married for 18 years before divorcing in 1986. In 2002, Cox married Nicole Surrey. The couple have remained together ever since. Consuelos asked Cox about the secret behind his third marriage's success. "We hear you and your wife have figured out the perfect living arrangement in the house. Tell us about it," Consuelos said to Cox. Cox fired back separate bedrooms, to the surprise of the studio audience. "We've been together for 25 years, married for 23, and that's the success of a," Cox said before his mic was cut off for a few seconds. By the time his mic was restored, the crowd was laughing as Cox finished his story. "We draw lots when we see one another, when we're allowed to visit each other's bedrooms." After Consuelos asked whether he meant if it was similar to visitation rights, Cox agreed. Visitation lots, yes. Ripa looked stunned as she soaked in the information. But in her typical fashion, she needed to dig even deeper. So what happens on visitation day? She asked Cox. Without missing a beat, he told her, well, that's my business, not yours, as he chuckled along with the rowdy crowd. What do you think happens on visitation day? Cox jokingly asked Ripa. Are you surprised by Brian Cox's confession? Let us know what you think in the comments section.